Hi, I'm Mohammed Gari, the Chief Executive at the Personal Finance Academy. Have you ever bothered to know what your money personality is? Would you want to understand how this affects the way you do things? Money personality is basically about your attitude towards money. For some people, when they have money, they get excited, they feel the urge to move into new areas, they look for fun and many such things. But for some people, when they have money, they feel frightened, they feel insecure until the money is away from them. Now, there are some people, when they don't have money, they actually feel very insecure. So money personality is basically your attitude towards money. Not when you have it, even when you don't have it. Now, broadly, there are very many money personalities that we can talk about. There are people, when they have money, the next thing they look for is fun. There are people, when they have money, the next thing they look for is shopping. And there are people, when they have money, the next thing they look for is investment. Broadly, all the money personalities can be split into two. We have savers and we have spenders. Let's look at savers. Not necessarily that they have a big savings account, but ideally, savers are people who actually in life are never eager to spend money. They look for all reasons not to spend. They will hesitate. They will drag their feet not to open their wallet. So they owe you money and they actually have it in the wallet. They're saying, well, Usijali, I'll pay you. You wait, I will pay you some other day. That is the attitude of a saver towards money. It is better staying close to them than being elsewhere. Savers are cost sensitive. When they look at things, they don't consider the worth of things. They look at the cost. And you know, these are the people who will enter a restaurant. They look at the pricing and they decide it is too expensive to take a cup of tea for this amount of money. And they will actually spend another hour or so walking to a place that they think is more appropriate priced. So they are never eager to spend money. They will hesitate to drag their feet and look for the cheapest option all the time. And because they look for the cheapest option, unfortunately, they will obviously lose their money over time, because cheap is expensive if you think about it all the time. But savers actually always think about a rainy day. They're very cautious with money, so they are happy when they have a reserve. They are happy when they have a big bank balance, because they will actually be able to sleep well knowing that they are secure because their bank balance is good. Savers generally hate debt. They want to avoid debt, and when they're in debt and they have opportunity to pay, they will pay their debts in full. They, like I said, they are pessimistic, they are cautious about money, they think about a rainy day. The challenge with savers, they don't even treat themselves well. They can hoard money, they can actually slow down things, they will have a lot of it, but they will leave us paupers, and that's the danger of being a saver. On the other side, we have the spenders. Now, spenders are people who are flashy. They are carefree with money, very optimistic. They will even spend their last coin. They're very daring. They will go out and have fun when they have money. And every time they have money, they must look out for fun. And that's why they will hit the shopping market. They will go out on a holiday. They will do a trip. For them, credit is income. And when they see any sign for sale, they see it as an invitation to buy. They do not resist the temptation. They always want to go into that place. And the challenge of being a spender, if you don't take care, you will find you will use your money and you lose other people's money. So it's very easy to fall into debt. And if you don't fall into debt, you can actually find yourself in criminal activities. It could be pilferage, it could actually be adjusting receipts here and there, it could actually be taking people's things without their permission. And if care is not taken to feed that habit of spending, people even go into crime. It could be small crime where you are an accomplice, it could be actually you get into crime yourself. So it is good to understand your money personality, your attitude towards money, and you can actually be able to see what needs to be adjusted. So take time and consider this so that you can actually be having the appropriate attitude towards your money at all stations in life.